Your mind is your greatest asset, your most powerful tool, and the key to transforming your life. Every success, every breakthrough, and every moment of triumph begins with the thoughts you allow to shape your reality. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll find more problems. But if you focus on possibilities, you'll discover solutions, opportunities, and the limitless potential that has always been within you. The way you think determines the way you feel, and the way you feel determines the way you act. Your actions create results which then reinforce your beliefs. This cycle either builds you up or breaks you down. It all starts with the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, then that becomes your reality. You see what you expect to see. Your brain is like a heat-seeking missile. It will find evidence to confirm what you already believe. That's why people stuck in negativity always seem to find reasons to stay there. They've trained their minds to look for obstacles instead of opportunities. But the good news, you can rewire your brain to work for you instead of against you. Right now, take a step back and ask yourself, what is the story you've been telling yourself? What do you believe about who you are and what you're capable of? Maybe you've been carrying a story that says, I always mess things up, or I can't succeed because of my past. But here's the truth. Your past does not define your future. The only thing shaping your destiny is what you decide to believe in this moment. Think of your mind like a garden. If you plant weeds, doubts, fears, self-criticism, that's what will grow. Those weeds will take over and choke out every possibility for success. But if you plant strong, empowering thoughts, beliefs in your own potential, gratitude for your strengths, certainty that you are capable, then your mind will flourish. Your thoughts will turn into the fuel that drives you forward. And soon enough, your reality will start reflecting the power of that inner transformation. One of the greatest shifts you can make is understanding that you are not your thoughts. Negative thoughts will come. Self-doubt will whisper in your ear. Fear will try to paralyze you. But just because a thought appears in your mind does not mean it's true. You have the power to question it, challenge it, and replace it. The moment you recognize that, you take back control. You become the master of your mind instead of its prisoner. Training your mind to work for you takes discipline. Just like training your body, you wouldn't expect to get in peak physical shape by going to the gym once. You need consistency, effort, and repetition. The same is true for your thoughts. Every day, you must choose to direct your focus. You must decide what kind of thoughts you will allow to take root. You must actively replace disempowering beliefs with ones that serve you. One of the fastest ways to shift your mindset is by controlling what you focus on. If you focus on problems, you'll feel overwhelmed. If you focus on what's missing, you'll feel like you're lacking. But if you focus on solutions, possibilities, and gratitude, your entire perspective will change. Gratitude is a game changer. No matter where you are in life, there is something to be grateful for. And when you shift your focus to appreciation, fear and negativity lose their grip. You cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. Choose gratitude, and you immediately put yourself in a position of power. Another key to mastering your mind is guarding what you allow into it. Your environment influences you more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you engage in, these all shape your beliefs. If you surround yourself with negativity, you will absorb it. But if you surround yourself with powerful, uplifting influences, your mind will be strengthened by them. Be intentional about who and what you allow to shape your reality. Listen to voices that push you forward, not hold you back. Read books that expand your thinking. Engage with people who challenge you to be better. Your self-talk is another critical factor in mastering your mind. Every word you speak to yourself is a command to your subconscious. If you constantly say, I'm tired, I'm not good at this, or I'll never succeed, you are reinforcing those beliefs. But if you declare, I am strong, I figure things out, and I am built for success, you are rewiring your mind to believe in your own power. The words you use create your world. Choose them wisely. One of the biggest shifts in mindset happens when you stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities. Every challenge you face has the potential to make you stronger. Every failure contains a lesson that will move you forward. Every moment of pain can become the fuel that drives you to the next level. When you shift your perspective to see setbacks as setups for comebacks, you become unstoppable. You stop fearing failure and start using it to your advantage. Your mind will believe whatever you tell it most often. If you tell it you're a failure, it will find proof. You are the architect of your thoughts and therefore the architect of your reality. And the best part, you can decide right now to rewrite the script. The transformation starts the moment you make the decision to take control. It starts when you choose to break free from the patterns that have been keeping you stuck. It starts when you decide to no longer accept the limitations that have been placed on you by yourself or by others. This is your moment, right here, right now. The past does not matter. What matters is what you decide from this second forward. Will you choose to step into your power? Will you commit to shifting your mindset and breaking free from negativity? Will you claim the life you were meant to live? Because make no mistake, you are meant for more. You are capable of more. And the only thing standing between you and your greatest potential is the way you think. The second you change your mind, you change your life. The second you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your future. This is your time. Own it. Step into it and never look back. There is a pattern to everything in life. Your emotions, your thoughts, your habits, your behaviors. If you're stuck in a cycle of negativity, stress, or doubt, it's because your brain has been wired to follow a certain path over and over again. It's like a well-worn trail in the forest. The more you walk that path, the deeper it gets. Eventually, it becomes automatic. You don't even realize you're choosing that route. It just happens. Negativity is a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. The good news is that no pattern is permanent unless you allow it to be. The moment you recognize that you are in a cycle that isn't serving you, you gain the power to disrupt it. But breaking a pattern requires action. You can't just sit back and hope your thoughts magically change. You have to intervene. You have to shake things up. You have to take control. Think about a moment when you felt stuck in negativity. Maybe it was a time when everything seemed to be going wrong, and no matter what you did, you felt frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed. What was happening in that moment? Were you slouched over, scrolling mindlessly on your phone? Were you replaying the same negative thoughts in your head? Were you dwelling on something that had already happened, something you couldn't change? Now imagine if in that moment you had done something completely unexpected, something that shocked your system and forced your brain to snap out of it. Imagine if you had stood up, stretched your arms high and shouted, "I've got this." Imagine if you had jumped up and down, blasted your favorite song, or sprinted outside for a quick walk. Imagine if you had done anything that was the exact opposite of what your negative state wanted you to do. That's what breaking the pattern looks like. It's about interrupting the cycle before it pulls you deeper. The human brain loves repetition. It craves what's familiar. If you've been stuck in negativity for a long time, your mind will naturally go back to it because it's what it knows. But the moment you break the pattern, you create space for something new. You give your brain an opening to choose a different path. One of the most powerful ways to break the cycle is through physical movement. Your body and mind are deeply connected. When you feel negative, your body reflects it. Your posture slumps. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your energy drops. But when you change your physical state, you force your mind to follow. That's why people who exercise regularly often experience a mental shift. Movement changes chemistry. It releases endorphins, increases circulation, and boosts energy. It's nearly impossible to feel stuck in negativity when your body is in a peak state. But you don't need a full workout to shift your emotions. Sometimes a small physical change is all it takes. Stand up. Roll your shoulders back. Breathe deeply. Put your hands on your hips in a power stance. Walk with purpose. Even just shifting your posture can send a signal to your brain that says, I'm in control. And once you're in control, negativity loses its grip. Another way to break the pattern is by shifting your focus. Negativity thrives when you give it attention. If you keep thinking about what's wrong, what's missing, or what could go wrong, you're feeding that emotional state. But you can starve it. The fastest way to do that is by changing what you focus on. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for this. It's impossible to feel fear, anger, or stress while feeling genuinely grateful at the same time. The moment you shift your focus to appreciation, everything changes. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, you start noticing what's right. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel abundant. And when you feel abundant, you act differently. You make better decisions. You see opportunities instead of obstacles. Whenever you catch yourself spiraling into negativity, force yourself to list 5 things you're grateful for. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. It could be as simple as, I have fresh air to breathe. I have a roof over my head. Or I have the ability to learn and grow. The moment you shift your attention to these things, you take back control of your emotional state. Your words also play a massive role in breaking the pattern. The language you use creates your reality. If you constantly say, I'm exhausted, I'm stressed, or I can't handle this, your brain will believe it. Your mind takes your words as instructions. But if you shift your language, you shift your energy. Try saying, I am in charge. I'm figuring this out. Or I have everything I need to handle this. Watch how your body responds. Watch how your confidence rises. There is an undeniable power in the words we speak, both internally and externally. If you wake up every morning and immediately say, today is going to be a great day, your brain starts searching for proof of that statement. It starts looking for reasons to confirm it. But if you wake up and say, I don't want to do this, your brain will find evidence to support that mindset too. You always have a choice, and the words you choose shape your experience. Breaking the pattern isn't about ignoring reality. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about refusing to stay stuck in a state that doesn't serve you. It's about recognizing that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you respond. One of the fastest ways to break out of negativity is to ask better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of asking, why is life so hard? Ask, how can I grow from this challenge? The questions you ask direct your focus, and your focus determines your emotions. Another powerful tool is laugh. Find a way to bring humor into your life. Watch a funny video, call a friend who makes you laugh, do something silly. Laughter changes your physiology, relaxes tension, and instantly shifts your energy. Music is another game changer. The right song can completely transform your mood in seconds. If you're feeling stuck, put on music that makes you feel powerful, energized, and unstoppable. Let it take over your state. Let it remind you that you are in control. The bottom line is this: negativity is a pattern, but so is positivity. And every single day, you get to decide which one you will reinforce. It won't happen overnight, but the more you practice breaking the cycle, the easier it becomes. The more you take charge of your emotions, the stronger you become. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose differently. Every time you feel yourself slipping into negativity, you have a choice. Will you let it pull you under, or will you break the pattern and rise above it? The decision is yours. And the moment you take control, you reclaim your power. Everything you believe about yourself, what you're capable of, what you deserve, how far you can go, it's all shaped by the beliefs you've built over time. These beliefs didn't just appear out of nowhere. They were formed by experiences, by the words of others, by past failures, and even by the fears passed down from the people around you. The problem is most of these beliefs were never consciously chosen. They were absorbed, picked up along the way, and accepted as truth. But the real truth, most of them were lies. Somewhere along the way, you may have started believing that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough to achieve what you want. Maybe you failed at something once, and instead of seeing it as a lesson, you labeled yourself a failure. Maybe someone told you that people like you don't succeed, that you should be realistic, that your dreams are too big. And without realizing it, you internalize those words, let them shape the way you see yourself. That's the danger of beliefs. They become your reality. If you believe you can't do something, you won't even try. If you believe success is only for other people, you'll never push hard enough to get there. If you believe you're not worthy of happiness, you'll sabotage your own joy. The mind is powerful, and whatever you feed it becomes the truth you live by. But here's the key. Beliefs are not facts. They are choices. And the best part, you can choose new ones. Rewiring your beliefs starts with awareness. You have to catch the thoughts that are limiting you. Pay attention to what you tell yourself every day. What stories do you repeat in your mind? I'm not good at this. I always mess things up. Things never work out for me. These are not harmless thoughts. They are programming your brain to keep you small. But you have the power to rewrite the script. The moment you challenge a limiting belief, you weaken its grip on you. Ask yourself, is this belief actually true, or is it just something I've accepted without question? More often than not, you'll realize that the belief isn't based on reality. It's based on fear, on past experiences that no longer define you, on someone else's opinion that you mistook for truth. And the second you see that, you have the power to let it go. The next step is replacing that old belief with something empowering. If you've been telling yourself, I'm not good at this, change it to, I'm learning and improving every day. If your mind says, I'll never succeed, reframe it to, every step I take gets me closer to my goal. At first, this might feel fake. Your mind will resist because it's used to the old programming. But just like a muscle, the more you reinforce the new belief, the stronger it gets. Think about a child learning to walk. When they fall, they don't say, well, I guess I'm just not meant to walk. No, they get up and try again. Why? Because they haven't developed limiting beliefs yet. They don't question whether they can do it. They just keep going. That's the natural state of human beings. We are wired for growth, for learning, for resilience. But over time, we are taught to doubt ourselves, to fear failure, to believe that struggle means we should quit. It's time to unlearn those lies. One of the most powerful ways to rewire your beliefs is through action. If you've told yourself that you're not a confident person, start acting like one. Stand up straighter, speak with certainty, take on challenges that scare you. The mind believes what you do more than what you say. When you take action, even before you feel ready, your brain starts to rewire itself. You're proving to yourself that the old belief is wrong. There is no magical moment when everything changes overnight. Rewiring your beliefs is a process, but the key is persistence. Every time you choose the new belief over the old one, you're breaking down the old programming and installing a new system, one that works for you instead of against you. Think of the people who inspire you, those who have achieved extraordinary things, who have broken the limits that others accepted. Do you think they never had doubts? Of course they did. But the difference is, they didn't let those doubts become their truth. They chose beliefs that empowered them. And that's exactly what you can do. So ask yourself, what beliefs have been holding you back? What stories have you been telling yourself that no longer serve you? And most importantly, what new beliefs will you choose today? Because the moment you decide to change your beliefs, you change your future. Emotions are powerful. They drive every decision, every reaction, and every result in your life. They determine how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately how much success and happiness you create. But the problem is, most people don't control their emotions. Their emotions control them. They wake up in a bad mood and let it ruin their entire day. They face a setback and let frustration make their choices. They let fear hold them back, let doubt stop them, let anger cloud their judgment, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It doesn't mean pretending that fear, anger, or frustration don't exist. It means understanding that you are in control. It means recognizing that emotions are not instructions, they are signals. They are messages from your brain. And you get to decide how to interpret them, how to respond, and how to use them as fuel instead of letting them become chains that hold you down. The biggest mistake people make is believing that emotions just happen to them. They say things like, I can't help it, I'm just an angry person, or I'm just naturally anxious. That is not the truth. Emotions don't control you. Your habits of thought and reaction do. And the second you realize that, you take back your power. Think about a time when something made you angry. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic, disrespected you, or things didn't go as planned. In that moment, your heart raced, your face got hot, your muscles tensed up. But why? Not because of what happened, but because of the meaning you gave to it. Someone cutting you off in traffic isn't actually a big deal. It's the story in your head that makes it feel like one. That person disrespected me. They don't care. People are so selfish. That's what fuels the anger. Change the story and the emotion changes is the key to emotional mastery. Understanding that you have the power to shift how you feel in any moment. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control your response. And when you learn to do that, everything changes. Let's talk about fear. Fear is one of the most paralyzing emotions. It stops people from taking action, from chasing their dreams, from stepping into their full potential. But what is fear really? It's anticipation of pain. It's your brain saying, if I do this, something bad might happen. But most of the time, the fear is worse than the reality. Think about how many things you've been afraid of in the past that turned out to be nothing. The presentation that terrified you but went fine. The difficult conversation you dreaded but ended up being productive. The change you resisted but later realized was the best thing that ever happened to you. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a green light, it's a signal that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is exactly where growth happens. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who succeed is not that successful people don't feel fear, it's that they don't let it stop them. They feel the fear and move forward anyway. And when they do, they realize that fear was just an illusion. Then there's sadness. Everyone experiences loss, disappointment, or moments when life doesn't go as expected. And sadness is natural. But what most people don't realize is that they have a choice in how long they stay in that state. They replay painful moments in their minds over and over, reinforcing the sadness, instead of shifting their focus to what they can learn, what they still have, and how they can grow from the experience. Gratitude is the antidote to sadness. The moment you focus on what you still have, on what is still possible, on what you've learned, your emotions start to shift. And then there's the most destructive emotion of all, self-doubt. Nothing will hold you back more than the belief that you are not enough. Doubt will creep into your mind whenever you try to do something big. It will whisper that you're not ready, that you might fail, that people will judge you. And if you listen to it, it will keep you small. But here's the truth. Self-doubt is just fear in disguise. It's not real. It's a habit, a pattern of thinking. And just like any habit, it can be broken. So how do you master your emotions? First, you have to become aware of them. Notice the patterns. What situations make you anxious? What thoughts make you angry? What experiences make you doubt yourself? The more awareness you have, the more control you gain. Second, challenge your emotions. Ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? If it's not, shift it. Change your physiology. Stand up, move, take deep breath. Change your focus. Stop replaying the negative and start focusing on solutions. Change your meaning. Reframe the situation in a way that empowers you. Third, practice. Emotional resilience. Train yourself to bounce back faster. Life will throw challenges at you, but your power comes from how quickly you recover. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never experience setbacks. They are the ones who refuse to let setbacks define them. You are not your emotions. You are the master of them. And the moment you take control of your life. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can read every book, attend every seminar, listen to every motivational speech, but none of it means anything without action. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the one thing that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the perfect conditions. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll take action when I have more experience. I'll chase my dreams when life settles down. And before they know it, years have passed and they're in the same place wondering why things haven't changed. But the truth is, waiting is just another form of fear. There is no perfect moment. There is no magical time when everything will align. The only time is now. Action is what turns dreams into reality. It's what separates the people who talk about their goals from the people who achieve them. Too many people get stuck in analysis. They overthink, they overplan, they wait until they have every answer before they start. But success doesn't come from knowing everything, it comes from doing something. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from taking action and learning along the way. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't have it all figured out when they started. They didn't have every detail mapped out. What they had was the willingness to take the first step, even when they didn't feel ready. They understood that progress comes from movement, not from standing still. Every great business, every life-changing invention, every incredible transformation started with a single action. Taking action doesn't mean you won't fail. In fact, failure is part of the process. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail and keep going. They don't let failure define them. They don't see it as a reason to stop. They see it as feedback, as a lesson, as a necessary step towards success. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they need motivation before they can take action. They wait to feel inspired, to feel confident, to feel ready, but action comes before motivation, not the other way around. The moment you start moving, the energy the moment you take that first step, momentum kicks in, and with momentum comes confidence, clarity, and drive. Look at any area of your life where you feel stuck. Chances are the reason you're stuck is because you're not taking enough action. You're waiting, hesitating, overthinking. But the moment you decide to take action, any action, you break the cycle. You prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are in control, that you are the one shaping your future. Small actions lead to big results. Too many people make the mistake of thinking they have to make massive changes all at once. But real progress comes from consistent, daily action. It's not about taking one huge leap. It's about taking step after step, day after day, until the results become undeniable. When you commit to action, you shift from being a passive observer in your life to being the creator of it. You stop making excuses and start doing. And that is what changes everything. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you know that matters. It's what you do. Growth is not a destination. It is a lifelong commitment. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. Everything in life is either expanding or shrinking, evolving or stagnating. There is no standing still. The most successful, fulfilled, and unstoppable people in the world understand this truth. Growth never ends. They don't settle. They don't become complacent. They don't reach one goal and decide they've arrived. They know that the secret to a truly extraordinary life is the relentless pursuit of becoming better every single day. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go through the motions, and repeat the same patterns day after day. They stop learning. They stop challenging themselves. They stop pushing for more. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they feel unfulfilled, why life feels like it's passing them by. The reason is simple: they stop growing. When you stop growing, you lose momentum. You lose passion. You lose that fire inside you that makes life exciting, that makes you wake up in the morning with a purpose. Growth isn't about chasing perfection. It's about becoming the best version of yourself over and over again. It's about refusing to accept limits, refusing to believe that you've reached your peak, No matter where you are right now, whether you're at rock bottom or already experiencing success, there is always another level. There is always more to learn, more to achieve, more to become. The moment you adopt this mindset, your entire world changes. One of the biggest barriers to lifelong growth is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside your comfort zone. But real growth happens in discomfort. It happens when you push yourself beyond what feels safe, beyond what feels easy. It happens when you challenge yourself to take on things that scare you, to step into opportunities that stretch you. The greatest achievements, the most powerful transformations come from those moments when you decide to embrace the challenge instead of running from it. Growth requires a willingness to learn. The people who achieve the most in life are students forever. They don't assume they know everything. They seek out knowledge. They ask questions. They surround themselves with people who challenge them to think bigger. They read, they invest in their skills, they constantly upgrade their minds. The second you think you have all the answers, you stop evolving. The second you believe you've arrived, you start declining. But when you commit to being a student of life, when you adopt a mindset of curiosity and hunger for knowledge, you open the door to unlimited potential. Lifelong growth isn't just about learning, it's about applying what you learn. Too many people consume information without ever using it. They read books, watch videos, listen to advice, but they never take action. Knowledge without action is useless. The real power comes when you apply what you've learned, when you put yourself in situations that force you to grow, when you take risks and learn through experience. Growth isn't just about collecting information, it's about transformation. One of the most important lessons in growth is understanding that setbacks are part of the journey. Growth isn't a straight line. There will be failures, there will be challenges, there will be moments when you feel like you're not making progress, but every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn something new, to develop resilience. The most successful people don't avoid failure, they embrace it, they see it as a teacher, as a stepping stone to the next level. They understand that growth comes from struggle, and they refuse to let obstacles stop them. Surrounding yourself with the right people is a game changer when it comes to lifelong growth. Who you spend time with matters. If you surround yourself with people who are complacent, who don't challenge themselves, who accept mediocrity, that mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with people who are constantly improving, who push themselves, who expect more from life, that energy will elevate you. Growth is contagious. Find people who inspire you, who challenge you, who push you to be better, and make them a part of your life. At the core of lifelong growth is a mindset of ownership. You have to take responsibility for your progress. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to push you, motivate you, or force you to improve. It has to come from you. The moment you take full ownership of your growth, you take control of your future. You stop making excuses, you stop blaming circumstances, and you start creating the life you want. Growth is not easy. It requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. But the rewards are infinite. The more you grow, the more opportunities you create. The more you grow, the more confidence you build. The more you grow, the more you experience the depth and richness of life. The choice is simple: stay the same and stay stuck, or commit to lifelong growth and become unstoppable. The moment you make that commitment, everything changes. The journey of growth never ends. It is a lifelong commitment to becoming more, pushing past limits, and unlocking your full potential. Every challenge is an opportunity, every setback a lesson, and every action a step toward the life you deserve. Stop waiting, stop doubting, and start becoming. The power is already within you. Now is the time to unleash.